Yeah, what's it like teaching in the States? Because I can just remember being in school and I was not the best kid to teach, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Those are some of my favorite kids, actually. It's been a tricky couple of years with COVID. Last
Yeah.
year was a little scary, and this year is has been interesting in different ways. But I think so far, last year was definitely harder. So this year, like I feel like if we can do last year, we educators, we can do anything pretty much. We'll do it. We'll do it this year too. So
Mm,
yeah, it's a bit of
yeah.
a struggle though sometimes.
Last year was that like adjustment period, right? Where everything was
hmm
new. No one had a clue what was going on. It's like, it'll blow over in a month or two. Like it'll be okay. I can kind of like miss school and
Yeah.
that. And it's still here.
Yeah. Well, it's really been like 2 years. So our fifth graders, for example, they had a really strange fourth grade year, but they were also yanked out of third grade like halfway through. So there are a lot of ways like third grade-ish, like third grade-ish, like socially or just things we do in school. You can't blame them, of course. We were meeting them where they're at, but
Yeah, for
and I'm
sure.
talking to other educators, not just my school district or anything, but talking to other teacher friends across the country, across different age levels, and they agree. It's kind of a different year. The kids are in different spots for sure than usual.
Wow. Like what age group do you teach?
So I teach elementary physical education. So I teach K through 5. So up until about 11-year olds.
From what
And I
age?
teach
Like,
everybody in the whole school,
oh wow.
like 5 or 6. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, okay. That's
Yeah. So I teach
that's
like
difficult.
a gym class. Yeah. Um, so I see a lot of kids. So when COVID was happening, we didn't really know how it was spread and things. I'm seeing, 200 or so children a day. And then the next day, 200 different kids. So there were some concerns. Last year we rotated differently, but it's a whole long story.
How are you able to? Do you have to coach on Zoom?
We were in person almost all year last year.
Wow.
We started off fully in person with masks, and PE, which is my class, we taught outside
Mm.
until like the middle of winter. Like we were outside when it was like in the single digits. Well, below zero for you guys, I guess,
Yeah.
but like super duper cold, until we really couldn't stand it anymore. And then we were in the gym for a couple months, and then back out in the springtime. And this year, I'm sort of planning on doing the same thing, but the kids
Wow.
don't have to wear masks this year.
Oh, how are they reacting to you guys wearing masks?
Staff don't have to either. And I'm vaccinated. I don't like some people choose not to share and like
Yeah,
whatnot, but that doesn't bother me. So I'm not like really concerned about getting sick at work anymore. Like last year, that was concern for sure. But a lot of our students can't be vaccinated yet or aren't vaccinated yet because they're all under 12 years old. And
wow.
so yeah, and so a lot of them are not a lot, but like a couple in every class are still wearing masks really well around their nose, around their mouth. And so I think it makes them feel better if like the adult in the room is doing that too. So if it makes one kid feel better about protecting themselves.
Mm.
Wearing a mask to me hasn't been that challenging. And when I go outside, I usually don't wear a mask. I keep
Mm.
it down. I keep it down here though, in case anybody gets like a little close, and I'll like pull it up.
You wear the stylish chin strap.
Yeah, it's a nice beard. And I'm
Yeah.
doing a bucket hat this year too because we're outside and I'm very like fair and I burn really easy. So like Miss Joss has been in a bucket hat all year and the kids think it's really cool. I think they look ridiculous, but they're about it.
Yeah, that's a good look.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I find it really interesting. It's something that I didn't even think about until yesterday, right? Went and did a talk in a hospital, and the guy was talking about a different hospital of where when they teach kids, when they treat kids, they no longer wear masks because it's freaking them out and it's making these kids have like anxiety
Mm,
attacks. And I'd never even thought about it that way before. And like
yeah.
obviously teaching in a school, like you're gonna see a
hmm
lot of kids come through. Like that must be pretty difficult, like we can say it's pretty difficult for us, but we've done
hmm
growing up, we kind of know who we are by now, or you would hope so.
Yeah.
But kids, yeah, it's that they're still developing.
Big time. And that's what I'm saying about kind of like the delays that we're seeing. It's not like, I mean, some of it's academic and that's a little bit to be expected, but a lot of it is like social things, just nothing like huge. And, kids are really flexible. They're going to bounce back, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
definitely noticing some stuff like that.
Wow. Like that's fascinating. How would you as a teacher, right? How would you go about tackling that, the social issue?
Tackling it. Well, I mean, they just kind of come up throughout the course of the day. Like it's sort of like any year. It's very different year, but it's also how you would do it is kind of like any year. Like for me, what the things that come up in my class often would be like kids running into each other. Like we're running around, we're playing some kind of game, and they run into each other. And I have to teach kids like what to do in that situation. Like the instinct is they feel bad and they'll just like go away to like avoid the situation. So we have to teach, and I'll show them how. Like I'll run into an invisible friend, or like I'll have a student, I'll like fake run into them, and I'll go, "Oh, Johnny, are you okay?" And you have to check in on them, ask them if they're okay, say, "I'm so sorry, it was an accident." Like, you know, that's sort of what adults should do if we get in like a car accident. You know, they can't just flee the scene.
What
Yeah,
we
I gotta
should
start
do,
teaching that
right?
stuff. Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's not necessarily what everyone does anyway, but yeah, it's what we should do
That's
for sure.
I'm starting them young, so hopefully by the time they get to make those choices, they make the right one,
Yeah,
I guess.
100%. Like you're fixing future problems, right? By helping kids.
Yeah, trying to, yeah. And then a lot of the other stuff, you can be as proactive as you want, and social things will come up throughout the course of the day. But a lot of it is like they're really chatty this year, like more than usual. But I think they're just excited to be in school and around each other, and
Mm,
just very chatty classes this year.
Yeah, I've seen like the social implications from adults, right? And people's are a little bit standoffish and whatever. Like that'll eventually
Oh
be
yeah.
over, or won't. Who knows? We've got no impact on that. But for kids, like
Mm-hmm.
that's okay, like growing up without those social
Mm-hmm.
interactions or interacting via a screen. You know what I mean? It's a weird thing.
Definitely. And I do think there are things that like we're not really seeing because they're not super prominent yet. Like I'm sure there are kids who are shy by nature anyway, and they
Yeah.
haven't really had to like meet somebody new in a year and a half, and just things like that I'm sure are also happening. But I see so many kids throughout the course of the day. I don't often get a chance to like find out those small things. That's more of what a class and teacher might like pick up on throughout the course of the day.
Mm, mm. Yeah, for sure. Like I know my sister, for example, she's 14.
Hmm.
I'm gonna throw myself under the bus. I think she's 14. But yeah, she's super introverted like myself, and like kind of obviously grew up a lot around a lot more technology than we did, right? And
Hmm.
yeah, is like super anxious of I don't really want to go outside anymore because I'm gonna have to bump into people I don't know, and it's because of all the lockdowns
Yeah.
and shit. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, that's just a part of life, mate. But it's not a part of their life, and it's something that I hadn't even thought about before.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I still remember like kind of going back to the gym, and I had been working out alone at our house for a while during
Mm,
this, or just and it was not very successful. It's better to train in a real gym. But like even there, I was like, do we look at people when we walk past them? Do we not? Like, do we say hi to like I don't know, like some of those things is like a little easy to forget. I feel like a lot better about around that kind of stuff now, but at first there was definitely like a, ooh, we're doing this again
mm,
moment, you know?
I really missed working out in a gym. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh yeah, for sure. For
Uh,
sure. It's way
yeah,
better to do that.
we got like I had a gym. I sold it. Like I had a little bit of a home gym set up, and I used to just pull it out onto the driveway, right, when it was sunny, and just kind of work outside. But it's cool, but the novelty wears off. You're like, oh, where's my buddies? I want to slang and bang some barbells and shout some profanity at each other. I can't really do that with neighbors thinking I'm already crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I did the driveway thing once or twice, and then it just got to be too much work to haul out there. So I didn't. I stopped doing that one real quick because it was just a lot of like effort. Like half the workout is like bringing all that stuff out
Yeah,
there, and this
yeah,
like rubber mat was like unreasonably heavy, and then like trying to drag it across the asphalt. The neighbor kids are like, "Hi," it's like, "Hi," I'm just like snatching over here. And
yeah.
yeah, it was better indoors.
Yeah, those mats, man. Like, it doesn't matter how much you lift, those mats feel fucking heavy.
Yeah, even with more than one person, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Did you have the huge ones? I've only got like half meter squared.
Four of them make a decent sized platform, but I could lift on one. Like it was
Oh
possible to
shit.
drop a bar. So I would only bring the one out yeah, because otherwise it's way too much work.
Oh, I've got no excuse then. I'm complaining about a half meter square.
Like little, yeah,
Like the
for
little
sure.
ones. You pick it up, you're like,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
they are heavy though. Those are heavy too.
Hey,
Yeah, for
I don't
sure.
want no sympathy here. All right.
Sure.
So
No matter how much you lift, they're heavy.
yeah. Sure. We'll go with that. They weigh 1,000 kilos for anyone listening. Literally 1,000 kilos.
Yeah, they do.
And I
They
can
do.
pick it up with one hand.
Scientifically proven.
That's true. Don't weigh
Yep.
it. How did you get into weightlifting?
I got into weightlifting way before it was like a cool thing, before CrossFit was going on, before there were really even, as far as I knew anyway, resources on the internet.
Hmm.
It was 2006. I was trying to think about this today because I thought, it might come up. It was 2006, and I was doing a summer strength and conditioning program. And it was a really basic sort of bodybuilding, high school athlete, generic program. But at the end, even though we hadn't done any cleans all summer, like the athletes were like really testing their hang power cleans, or what I would call just cleans at the time.
Hmm.
And I was like, whoa, what is that? And I tried it, and I don't remember what my first result was because it was like the same day that I learned how to do it. But yeah, I fell in love with it from then on, and just asked people questions. If anybody knew anything about weightlifting, like they had done college football, just anybody who knew anything, I was like asking questions about it because even though I could pick up things pretty fast, like you still need a coach and you need
Hmm.
some kind of guidance. Like, is this right or is this right? That
Hmm.
kind of thing. And then it kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah, especially because there's three movements, let's be honest, but there's so many different ways you can do it.
Yes, that too. All the variations. Yeah. And I
Just
didn't even know at the time it was like a hang power clean, but
yeah.
that's what the movement was. I think we just called them hang cleans. I don't really remember, but the terminology was like not quite right either.
Yeah. It's like every time I'll coach either in a CrossFit gym or a functional gym or whatever the fuck, right? And I'll coach weightlifting. They'll be like, oh, is it a power or is it a squat? And I'm like, there is no such thing as a squat clean. All right.
Yeah.
It's a clean or a power clean. I'm like, if we're gonna
Tradition.
do this, we're
Yeah.
gonna do this right.
Yeah.
The
It's
OG.
also just faster to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it's just
And
faster to say, like, I guess if you're clarifying it, it's okay, but you just assume.
yeah, exactly. If I'm like, show me a clean, you would do first, second, and
Right.
third pull, right? And obviously a third pull we're getting underneath. But hey, that's just the
Agreed.
OG fucking. I've worked out in some like dusty old grungy weightlifting gyms. There's no
Yeah.
windows. Like
That's the best kind.
yeah, man. Like the roof leaks. You got buckets of water everywhere. It's all dripping down. If you do something wrong, someone's gonna throw like 1.25 kilo plate at you and tell you to do it again. Like yeah, like the OG type shit.
That's really good. Those are hard to find, especially before like CrossFit
Yes.
became really popular. So
Yes.
definitely cool.
Yeah.
Not that CrossFit's popular. You can find those like just weightlifting, like sort of weightlifting gyms around, but those are like the real ones for sure.
Yeah. You need a special type of people to walk into there and be like, yeah, this is fun.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I can't wait to do this again tomorrow.
Yeah. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go in, it stinks of
Everything hurts.
DP. Like,
Yeah, exactly. That's how you know it's a good workout.
yeah. Stinks of DP. There's like ibuprofen packets in the bin. There's like so much coffee everywhere. There's like
Smells like icy hot.
the what?
It smells like icy hot or like muscle like rub or whatever
Yeah.
you use. Yeah, that's definitely a prominent smell usually.
Oh, I've got some here.
Of course.
Like legit.
Nice. Yeah, there you go. That's the good stuff. That's hard to find sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're real hurt if that doesn't fix it. Like you should go see a doctor if that doesn't fix your issue.
Yeah, I used to literally live in the stuff when I played rugby.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Yeah. Tell me.
So bad. Like I used to go through like a tube every 2 games.
Oh dang! Wow.
Yeah, it got really bad. I was basically
Must have smelled great too.
by ibuprofen gel. But,
here's a really good tip. I don't know if this is really that popular, but to me, this works better than that product. It's called Equiblock. Now, this is like super not doctor recommended, and don't try this just because this is what I do. It's for horses. So it's like icy hot, but the capsaicin level is like higher than they can use on humans. And so once you start like sweating and like that kind of ingredient activates, it's like it won't like burn you, but it definitely not. But it'll like turn like my skin red. But my skin turns red at like anything. But it like really gets deep in there. Like if your back or your knee hurts or something, like put that on. You won't feel anything, but that burning on your skin. Totally fine. Weightlifting is really fun, like you were saying.
Yeah, guys, you
Yeah.
know, go by, come in, have fun. Like it's a weird sport, man. Like you beat the shit out of yourself and think it's fun.
Yeah, for sure.
It's weird.
For sure. It is really weird.
Yeah. Why didn't you do
be
powerlifting?
a different person. What's that?
Why didn't you do powerlifting?
Well, I'm bad at it, first of all. Like in my like weightlifting, like my front squat and back squat were higher, like I'd be, I mean, I guess it's not true of everyone, but like that's one of my limiting factors, I could say. And deadlift too is just not, it's not as fun. What I really like, what I thought was cool about weightlifting, like that first day that I saw it and like true love, like just love at first sight, it was like the idea that the bar goes, you pull the bar up and it sort of stays there. And then if you're sneaky enough to go under it, and then strong enough to, like that whole exact sequence and like the physics of it, like really fascinated me. And like powerlifting is really a neat way to like, I mean, it's really cool to be strong as shit, just like those men and women are. But I liked the quickness of it and like the rhythm of it and the sound of it even. For weightlifting, it's like different to me, but that's why not powerlifting. And I'd be just not good at it, I don't think, to be honest.
Yeah, you know, a powerlifter who doesn't bench.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. I always take the piss out of my brother because he's a powerlifter, and every time he deadlifts something disgusting, right? I don't even want to know what he pulls these days. But I always just look at him and go, that was just a failed clean, mate. Like you're just not strong enough to get underneath it.
One of my coaches will go on and on about that too, and he'll even go so far as to say, well, they measure it in pounds because they want to make it seem more impressive.
Yeah.
Here in the States, they only measure in pounds, really. I don't think that's international too, is it?
I
don't know.
I don't know, actually.
Yeah. I usually see it measured in pounds, like on the internet, but I could be wrong about that. I know that. But anyway, that's what one of his beefs about it are. And then also you're doing one laying down. He's like, it's the lazy man's like weightlifting, basically. Yeah. But and you don't I have more respect for powerlifters than he does, but he really does not.
Oh, it's an incredible sport. You know what I mean? Like I love all sports. Well.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Not cricket. I don't like cricket.
No, not cricket, huh?
No.
I think he's always interested in watching it. This is my coach, Charlie. I've got a couple of men I would call my coach, but he's always interested in watching it. Like I always watch the power lifters, but he'll always like watch. I think he's sometimes impressed, but then he'll like, it's not weightlifting. Or they could be doing weightlifting. They could be using that effort to weightlifting, you know?
Yeah. Why is the bar not above their head? What's going on?
Just lift it a little harder and faster.
Yeah. I could do that if I was stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think powerlifting also just sounds like all of the really hard work of like strength sports, like just the really like the straining and then the fun part, which is like the rhythm and the going under the bar and like pulling yourself down with the bar. Like that to me is like the fun part of weightlifting. Like if I had to like really narrow it down.
I'd love to see someone doing both.
Yeah. I wonder if you would have to, I think it'd be easier. Well, there's been a couple athletes who have done both, but at different times. Like Mark Henry started in powerlifting and then switched to weightlifting, for sure. And I know that there were others who have done that, but I don't really think, as far as I know, I don't know if there's a whole lot of people who've started in weightlifting and gone the other direction. I think it'd be easy if you were to do both successfully, like at the same time. I think you would have to like really focus on weightlifting first, because I think there is a kind of element of, if you get too strong, it's really hard to learn the finesse and the rhythm of weightlifting, like after you're very strong. But I think there are a couple of people who do it, but I don't know if there's, if they're super well known for doing both. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's, I mean, to be
at the same time.
Yeah, to be on an international stage on both, you just have to be a freak. Like that would be insane. I don't know. Maybe I'll start training both.
Yeah. If your
But
brother's doing it,
yeah, well, he can do that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll do the deadlifts, and I'll snatch.
Yeah, there you go. Also, the low bar squat really freaks me out. I tried it once and I was like, never again. Like,
It's
it's
weird,
just, I
right?
feel like it's gonna fall off. I do not enjoy it, and
Mm.
just, I'm not gonna do it again.
Mm. Yeah, I'm fine with it up to like, I want to say 90%, and I can
Oh,
kind of
that
get away
high?
with it, and it's okay. And then when it starts tinkering up those percentages towards 100, and then you're pushing for a PR, I'm like, nah, I need to be able to chuck this bar off me if shit hits the fan. Like, I'm not
Oh,
relying
yeah.
on a spotter.
Yeah. Also, like, I felt like I was like hitting a bone back there instead of like the nice, like cushy, like traps. Like,
Mm.
it was like you were meant to squat there. Like, I don't know. Yeah, no, low bar is not for me.
What about bench press?
So I'm a member of a bodybuilding gym now. I was like, that's a primary, those are the primary athletes there. And I have done more bench pressing now than I have in a very long time, but that's also not a lot. Um, my shoulders are pretty fine healthy wise, but I also don't want to mess with them too much and really like push that movement when they're not used to it. So I've been doing like mostly dumbbells and like
Mm.
very kind of light, not pushing it, like in higher rep area. Because when I'll do bodybuilding, a bodybuilding workout, which is like my rest days, like I try to like go to the gym most days. Um, I won't necessarily like push to failure, which I know if you're a real bodybuilder, like you do that very often. But mine is just more to like keep myself healthy and like you know, feeling good. So I don't really push to the point where it feels unbalanced or like I'm really straining in a way that seems like it precedes injury because
Mm.
that's what I'm not looking for.
Honestly, like programming for weightlifters, like I really, really rate dumbbell bench.
Yeah.
Like just to add in the instability aspect, like
Hmm.
definitely, I think weightlifters should be doing more of it.
Yeah. I think I do feel pretty good that I have been, doing mainly the dumbbells and also dumbbell shoulder press too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've been adding in as well because same reasons and a lot of the other like just accessory type things.
Accessories will keep you healthy, right?
Yeah, which I've been pushing more this year than ever before for sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
Have you had any injuries recently?
Um, there was nothing specific. I think all of COVID, I was training pretty like suboptimally, in my basement and that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Um, but during my last competition, my back was really injured, and it's sort of an injury that crops up every couple months, and I know when it happens, and I know what to do after it happens, and then it doesn't happen then for like another year to 6 months or 6 months to a year. But my back was really strained at the time. And then I also felt like there was lots of imbalances and knee issues. So there wasn't anything like major at the competition. My back was an issue, but like in general around that time, there wasn't anything huge, but um, I just felt like not great in my body, like overall. And I think that bodybuilding had really helped that and starting the knees over toes guy on Instagram,
Wow.
his program has really, really helped me out too. So those two things have right now, like I feel better than I have in a long time in like weightlifting.
Wow.
Finally.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've got a good mate of mine at the gym, and he was a powerlifter, wants to get into weightlifting, but he's like, he needs to fix his shit up first because,
Hmm.
he's been battering himself with powerlifting for a long time, and he really rates the program from knees over toes. And I really want to have a conversation with him. Like it seems super, super cool.
Hmm.
And it's like, how would you even think about that? You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? How that's so left field, but it works. It's incredible.
Yeah. And it's very short, like time wise. And it's also a really good warm up for like anytime I'm gonna squat, period, like one of his big things is walking backwards. So like I'll just walk backwards for 10 minutes on the treadmill anytime I'm like gonna touch a bar and like squat with it. And I'll do like his full program like the other days, but it really has given me confidence in my like those in my knees, like back, which I feel like they for sometimes they'd be kind of hurt or like, but they always are feeling it's hard to describe like they're about to be really hurt. You know
Mm,
what I mean? But I feel like my knees are much stronger now and I feel more confident in the movements. But yeah, if anybody listening has got knee issues, I would super recommend checking out
mm,
his program,
mm,
especially his zero density program. You don't need any equipment. And so, you know, you don't need to buy anything but the program. You can like progress, and like there are different levels that he has. But if you don't need anything, it's just a program and you get coaching every single day. It's really worth the investment for sure.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. Have you ever used a belt squat machine?
Yeah, we have. I have, but it's not really one of my go-tos. I think if I hurt my upper body, I would do it a whole lot, obviously. But no. Is that one of your favorites?
Yeah, I
Like
absolutely
knee
love them.
issues? What do you
Yeah.
like about him?
I don't know. Like I've had a lot of spine issues. Like I had to stop playing rugby. That's why I would douse myself in this. I had like a really, really bad neck injury and a lot of concussions. And then
Oh, definitely.
I ruptured my L5S1 like two years after that, maybe 3 years after that. So literally the top and the bottom of my spine has taken an absolute beating.
Oh,
Um,
dang.
yeah, so sometimes I don't know if you're working or whatever, you've been a bit lazy on the warm-ups or your mobility or any activation stuff, and I can just feel it. I'm like, my back's telling me to ease off.
Mm,
If I jump on one of those things, I can still hit some like heavy stimulus on my low body, but
for
can
sure.
avoid the spinal loading. And I love doing the glute matches on it. I think
Oh,
that's
right. I've seen those, but I've never done those before.
you never done it.
Mm-mm.
Mate, you gotta get on
Good.
that. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. And next time my back is hurt, which and it's weightlifting, it'll happen again. I'll definitely check that out. I mean, usually with my specific thing that I think is the same injury that keeps cropping up, there's not really a warning. It's just all of a sudden on a
Bam.
45-kilo snatch, your back is not, you're not going to do that. So, and then I've also learned it's best to totally stop right away. And if I just don't do anything to like stress out that area for like 2 weeks, I can usually, be fine after that. And so at my last meet, it had happened about a week and a half before the meet. So I was right at like the point where, you know, I wasn't sure if I should even compete or not, but I did in total. So yeah,
Crazy.
yeah,
Like I don't think we're bigging up weightlifting a lot for people. You know what I mean? It's one of those
yeah,
spots where your back's gonna hurt. I'm like, I don't really want to tell people that, but yes, it's true. Your knees will hurt
yeah,
too. You're squatting every day.
yeah. Yep. But you got to learn the difference between like hurt and like very hurt,
Yes.
or and especially if it's a new injury for people listening and you're a new weightlifter, it's always pays off. That's one thing I've learned over all these years. As soon as I get an injury, I should probably like get some help with it. Like unless I really think I know what it is, like it saves time and honestly money
Mm,
too if you go right away, and time and training too that you're trying to struggle through something, and then you
mm,
know yeah, but as soon as you can, money allowing to go get help from a doctor about it.
mm. Yeah, the way I think about it and usually pass it on and coach it is like it's uncomfortable, right?
Hmm.
It is discomfort, but that's it. As soon as it reaches that area of pain, then we need to ease off and we change what we're doing, etc., etc. So I usually draw a
Hmm.
line right on the whiteboard because most people are visual, and I go uncomfortable on the bottom and then like painful on the top, and I'm like, cool, where are
Hmm.
we? And you like put a dot on the wall, and you can see it then if it's creeping up or creeping down or whatever, and you can tickle that line sometimes. But as
Hmm.
soon as you go
Hmm.
over it, like that's an issue. We need to
Hmm.
sort this out.
Hmm. I also think there's like training pain, but that's more you feel very tired and fatigued. But I mean, since I teach little kids,
Mm,
there is sometimes like in some people confusion about like I'm training and this is normal
mm,
discomfort, like you said, or like I'm actually hurt. Those
mm.
can be tricky for even little kids. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to figure out, even for us, right?
Hmm.
Because sometimes you
Hmm.
kind of second guess yourself. You're like, am I being a bitch right now? Should I just like keep
Hmm.
going? Or you're like, no, I'm seriously hurt, but I'm just gonna keep going anyway. It's one more set.
Right. Yeah. But you got to learn to take your ego out of it for sure. But yeah, I think it overall saves you a little bit if you can learn to stop earlier, because
Yes.
you could like if it's just one more set, you could damage the injury further. But like, will that one last set benefit you greatly compared to the 10 you've already done? Like, probably doesn't make that much of a difference. So it could make a more difference in the negative direction though.
Mm. Yeah, we like sayings back home, and you just usually say always end on a W. So it's
Right.
like, all
You
right,
can, for sure.
that was a good set, right? You end it on a W.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing is like
Yeah.
if say for example we're maxing out, right, and you go for a PR or whatever, you go for a heavy single and you miss, and you're like, nah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. Strip the bar, go empty bar, just do one more rep. Like
Yeah.
it's that like
It's a good
omen, right?
mentality to have.
A little bit superstitious.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just a little bit
Finish it on
superstitious.
a good note. Yeah. Just a little stitches.
Yeah. Do you have any like orders you've got to do and like put your shoes on or tie your laces or shit like that?
Hmm. No. Um, I mean, I've had some throughout the years. But my first time bombing out at a national meet, it was like the first time we got like little paper lot numbers to put on our singlets on our hip, and mine was 13. And I was feeling great that day though. Every single lift I went out to try to make, I thought I was going to make all of them, and I missed every single one. So like, I don't know really what was happening, to be honest. But yeah, that 13. It was actually after I took it off the singlet, I taped it on my training journal. So every day I'd have to look at it and remember how it felt to bomb out at nationals and try to
That's
fix it.
that's heavy, man. I like that.
I know. I know. Yeah. Well, I didn't bomb out again. No, wow, knock on wood. We're talking about superstition. I haven't bombed out at nationals since then.
Yeah, touch wood.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, that's I love the mindset of an athlete, you know what I mean? Because you take us out of a athletic situation and we're fucking crazy.
Yeah,
Like
usually in
it
some ways.
doesn't make any sense. You're like, what are you doing? Like that's insane. And then you
Yeah.
obviously see the result from it. You're like, oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Definitely. I was talking with one of my best friends. She's not a weightlifter, and I think we were just like describing like personalities or something, like just kind of girl talk. And I was like, "Well, yeah, I'm not very competitive." And she was like, "She's known me since I was like 5." Natalie, you're a little competitive. I was like, "What?" I didn't think that I was, but apparently so.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you do an individual sport and compete
Yeah, exactly.
nationally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That would do it for
You're
you.
not there for the shits
I
and
guess I
gigs,
could
right?
have put two and two together, but it took me back. I was like, no, that's not me. That's not really my personality.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
Well, she knew. She
outside the
called me
gym.
out.
You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. You know, you just
Yeah, that's what I thought. But I guess
it's
anyway.
it's legit like split personality, right? With athletes, the
Hmm.
the athlete and then the actual person.
Very much. I think so too.
Mm, Oh, honestly, I love speaking to athletes because it means I'm not the only crazy person on the planet.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm like,
That's
oh, there's
true.
more
That's
crazies out there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I think actually training in a real gym is helpful because, well, that's one of the reasons that there's like other people like that, very
Yes.
driven.
Oh, something I put up on like Instagram yesterday, right, was basically taking a piss on a poll of basically just saying anything over 3 reps is cardio. I'm like, well,
Yeah,
for me that's true, right? Because I was absolutely blown
yeah,
out my ass, and I think I had to do like 3 power clean, three push press or something like that, and then 2 twos.
yeah. Oof.
And one of the weightlifters who trains at the gym, she's like pushing for like Commonwealth and that, and she's elite level, and she's like,
Hmm.
I'm an elite athlete and I am blowing a gale walking up the stairs.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
this is incredible. These are my
It can
people.
be so hard to walk upstairs. People underestimate that. Like can be very hard.
Join weightlifting. You'll get super
So
strong.
like just talking.
Rubber mats will feel heavy. Your back
Yeah,
will
I know.
hurt
I'm kidding.
and you'll be out of breath walking up the stairs.
I mean, we're not wrong about either of those.
But if you do a
I was
snatch,
trying to hide it though.
yeah, I mean, yeah. If you do a
You
snatch
can't.
right, it's the best feeling in the world.
That's true too.
Like
That's true.
you can't replicate it.
Mm.
I think that's when I'm nah, tell like watching weightlifting, I'm like, that is insane. Like a human
Hmm.
being can do that. Like playing
Yeah.
rugby, I literally my overhead squat was like this.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know what I mean? It
ouch.
was
Yeah.
like an incline bench. It was horrendous.
Oh,
Um,
come a long way then.
yeah, man. Like
Yeah.
I, yeah, the old body's been put through the ringer with the whole injury thing, but it is what it is, right? You
Hmm.
play sport, you're bound to get injured.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
get it how
definitely.
people come out of sport not injured.
Yeah, definitely true. I think I've been pretty fortunate though, I would say overall in my career to like
Mhm.
not be too injured. But also weightlifting is a predictable sport. Like it's not
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
something else is gonna crash into you. Exactly.
yeah,
So those injuries that you do get are you know, expected a little bit
yeah.
differently. I don't know.
They're usually a
Yeah.
bit of overreach injuries, right?
Hmm.
Like
Yeah, more of those definitely.
more chronic than just someone's put a knee in your face or whatever.
Ouch.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, different than that.
yeah, yeah. That was wild. Like yeah, my first ever game playing rugby. I was a swimmer before that, right? So you take a fish out of water, they flap around like a bloody idiot. And I had no idea what I was doing, but I was more of a, we'll put it politely, larger fella.
Hmm.
Um, and it was just like, all right, yeah, you're a big lad. You run into other lads and make sure they hit the deck. And I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. I'm like, oh, one thing, just make sure they have the ball, otherwise it's illegal. I'm like, okay, yeah, cool.
Mm.
Next thing you know, I've been booted in the face with steel toe caps and I've chipped my skull. And I'm like, oh,
Oof.
this is all right there.
And then you just did it from there.
Yeah, like
That's how the first game went. Dang.
yeah, that's how the first game went, and I was
Ouch.
kind of hooked from there.
So it's a slightly different love story than just seeing a barbell move up and down and like think that's really neat. You're like, got my face bashed in, and I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got kicked in the face. I saw someone swing, and I was like, "Am I actually allowed to fight? Cool. Let's get involved in this." And yeah, that was it. 5 years, 6 years, maybe. Um,
Wow.
I loved it, mate. But
Yeah.
weightlifting, it's so intrinsic. You know what I mean? It's so hard to define. Like it's just like, hey guys, I'm gonna coach you through this thing. It's called a snatch. You don't need to know what name it is. I don't need to tell you all this terminology. I'm just gonna get this broomstick and we're gonna take it from like mid shin. You're gonna put it above your head, right? And then I'm gonna give you a high five. And like seeing people's faces light up, they're like, "Oh my god, this is cool." You're like, "There we go. They've got it."
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
cool job.
yeah, man. Do you coach the kids weightlifting?
Um, my first year teaching, I did, and I have some really, really cute videos of it, like keep teaching kindergartners how to do it, and
Wow.
like the whole class. That was for way back then. I still have the little like PVC pipes of sand in them that I used to teach them, but it just didn't seem like an efficient use of our time together when they have a lot of other skills to learn too. And and a lot of the older kids know that I do weightlifting because I did it when we could have school assemblies back before in normal times. I did weightlifting as like not like a show and tell, but it was part of a presentation. We were talking about like courage or something, and I was kind of relating that to weightlifting. So, but they were all like super impressed because so they have been exposed to weightlifting, which I'm happy that I could do too. But that was only the very first year that I did it. Did it with the PVC pipe, and it just didn't seem to be working how I envisioned after that. So I cut it out in class. But
Mm.
I bring it up, and I'll talk about uh, weightlift. Like if I do something really like significant in weightlifting, which is not that often, but like if I do it, I think it's like there's a lesson to be had from it. Then I'll bring it up in class. But for the most part, we talk about their sports too. Like what they
Mm.
like doing and whatnot.
Mm. Yeah, and there's obviously like they should be exposed to all different types of sports, right?
Hmm.
Rather than like, no, you're only going to do individual sports. I'm like,
Yeah,
yes, but also no. Like they need to be able to learn from other people and that teamwork and dealing under pressure and blah 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 blah.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, I think team sports should be. I don't want to say compulsory because that's a strong word. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
I think everyone should experience some sort of teamship in a physical
Hmm.
setting. I will
That's
say
true.
it in that PG way.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a certain amount of camaraderie that can happen. So,
Yeah.
like, if there's a weightlifting gym that's really, really close, I'm talking like, they are training together every day, they're good friends, like they party together and like all that, then that can become a team atmosphere. But I would say at most gyms, definitely across the country, it's not that way. And you're very lucky if you get a chance to have a gym like that and be part of something like that, for sure. But for the most part, like, lots of individual, it's really intrinsic, almost too much so for some people. Too much so for me at times too, but you got to get past that part of it.
Yeah, sometimes it's nice to be able to work through whatever's going through in your head with just the bar, you know what I mean? Just kind of like fight it out. But then other times you can get too much in your head and there's no one there to pull you out of it, right? And you're like, I've like 35 minutes has gone by, I've done one set and I've literally just thought about everything that's going wrong at the moment. You're like, no, dude, just put your hands on the bar and throw it above your head. Like,
right.
100%.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I do miss the big Fridays back home in that fucking shitty weightlifting gym. Like you could always count on. We had this thing called it's called malt loaf, right? It's actually, do you have it in the States?
No, but it was on Great British Baking Show last week, so I know what it is.
Was it? Oh yeah,
it was. It was the surprise. It was like the middle one. That's like the surprise.
It's so good.
It looks delicious. Now I don't. We might have it somewhere. I'm sure you could find it, but I've never had it before, and I would love to after that show.
It's so good. Like the cheaper brand is called Saurine, right? And literally, like if you have the whole thing, it's like 800 calories, 900 calories. It's ridiculous, and you can literally just chomp through it in about 3 minutes. Like
nice.
it's crazy. But we used to go in, and everyone was like, oh, obviously bulking, not sulking. Like so everyone's just force feeding each other malt loaf, donuts, caffeine, and it's like, all right, put some more kilos on the bar. It's so stuffy and hot. You're like sweating. It's disgusting. It stinks. Like it's dirty.
Yeah.
And it was a great time.
Yep, definitely. At my gym at home, well, in the one in Minnesota anyway, we used to, more than we do currently, have big Saturdays, which really worked better for me because I'm always so dead on Friday night. Like I'm not good for much of anything. I have to have advance notice if there's social obligations. Like I'm just tired. And Saturday mornings I'm good to go because I've slept and had a night to hang out. Like the week is done, it's the weekend. So Saturday mornings is how we do it. But same kind of thing. Just everybody gets in there. At this old gym, no air conditioning, just weights dropping. Yeah.
Yes.
Good times.
Yes. You walk in, it's so humid. It's so close.
Very humid.
You've got
you bend over the bar and sweat drops off you.
Yeah. That's my favorite. Like I actually really struggle breathing in the heat because Manchester is a cold place. But at the same time, like literally dripping off you. Like I don't know, there's some satisfaction to be had in that.
Yeah. That's true.
You can tell yourself you're working hard, even though you've just sat down on a chair and you're just sweating.
Definitely. Yeah, and even if the set goes badly, like you're sweating that much, so you must be working out on something. But I agree. And
my feet slipped. Sweating too much.
Yeah. Right. I also like that your joints feel so much better in the heat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a huge difference, actually. So I live right now in a cold state in the United States. I live in Minnesota. We're pretty far north. But looking to move to a warmer place at some point. That's not the only reason to have my joints feel good during weightlifting, but since that's an activity I do all the time, and it's harder in the winter, to be honest, that would be a nice benefit for sure.
Yes, that is very true. That is very true. Like I can't weightlift in the morning in winter because it's too cold. In the sense of it, I just won't warm up, or it'll just take me so fucking long. Like there's no point. I might as well use that time to work and then backload my training, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Like that was always a struggle back home. Like there was one of the boxes I used to train out of was like -5 inside.
Oof.
And people always complaining like they can't touch the bar, it's too cold. And I'm obviously coaching and I'm like, I get what you're saying. Like I really do. And I would be in the same position, but what do you want me to do? Like come in and rub the bars down in the morning to heat them up?
Yeah.
Like, this is the cards we're dealt, guys. It's like wear gloves.
Yeah. Yeah, at that point for sure. A hat too. Hats are key when it's
Mm,
cold.
like a beanie? Oh, I love a beanie.
Yeah, yeah. You have to. That's where all your heat escapes from.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. What's next for the competition scene?
I have one coming up in like 2 weeks. It's called the Minnesota Open. So
Oh
it's like
shit.
an hour or so away from me. So I have to sign up for it though. I actually haven't signed up for it yet. I intend to, so it'll be great. But that's the next one I'm planning on doing. And yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Do you know what you're gonna open at?
I don't. This was not like what this whole cycle of programming that I'm on was going to. It's been tailored to like accommodate for this meet, but I haven't really touched heavy singles in a bit. So it'll be interesting to see. My squats feel like they're coming up, and so my clean and jerk should be pretty good because that's usually my starter lift anyway. But snatches are hard for me anyway, and I don't really know where they're at. But I also think when you're just like coming up from like an injury or just like some time off and you don't know exactly where your maxes are, like a little bit of ambiguity is good because then you don't have those mental limits on yourself. Like if I try like whatever weight and it's hard, like then I have it in my head that weight is hard. But if I don't really know where I'm at, but I'm still doing some volume like doubles, triples, and just haven't really pushed it all the way to 100% yet, then like you can expect more, or you don't have like limitations on yourself in competition. So we'll see.
I
So
totally
snatch,
agree.
I have no idea. Snatch, I have no idea. I would like to qualify if I could for the American Open finals, which I after the years of COVID and training by myself and a couple small injuries, for the first time in my career, I'm not qualified for that. Or first time in my career in a long time, I'm
Mm,
not qualified for those. So I'd like to do that. I don't know if I would go this year, but it would definitely be nice to qualify.
mm.
So we'll see.
Keep the streak alive, right?
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
try.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What's so if someone was listening to this and after all the crazy shit we said about weightlifting was still
Hmm.
adamant that they want to give it a go, what advice
Yeah.
would you give them?
Definitely find a weightlifting coach.
Yeah.
It'll just save you a lot of time in person if possible. And maybe if there's more than one option in your area, kind of try out both. Just go with one that's going to suit your needs or your personality better, the one that like kind of gets the most out of you in training. Um, but my main one is if you do weightlifting for a really long time, like I have, and you go to not different teams, but different gyms, or maybe different teams too. Some people do that. But you go through different gyms and people will cycle kind of in and out of training during that time. Like most of the people I started with when I was first at my club that I'm at now, most are not lifting anymore.
Hmm.
But there are certain times throughout the course of my career that just training was really great. Like just everybody was awesome. Like the atmosphere was great. Um, you're feeling strong. Just like those good times, like they don't always, just kind of like in life, like they don't always last. So you really want to like, and they won't be the same. It's like if you get good times again, they won't be the exact same. So you really want to just like cherish it and be happy with like those moments and really enjoy those people and the adventures that it'll bring because those have been what I hold on to the most looking back in my career for sure.
For sure. Like you wanna have fun, right? That's why we do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, stepping on stage or the platform is fun. Like
Mhm.
doing that and getting the medals or whatever and getting the numbers is fantastic. But the day in and day out and having actual fun during that time, that's why you do it.
Definitely. Definitely. A
Mate.
lot of the competition lists will kind of like blend together, like blur together. There are obviously some that stick out to me,
Yeah.
um, but it kind of gives you the perspective that those don't, even though they feel make or break or do or die at the moment, the best parts of weightlifting aren't those individual
Yeah.
missed or made lifts. It's the people and the adventures that I've had, honestly.
The people in strength sports, honestly, mate, are one of the nicest people I've ever met. Like, period.
Hmm.
Because it's kind of like, all
Yeah.
right, we're in this kind of weird niche. We all are beaten up in some way, shape, or form, and we all just want to help each other. You'll just get
Hmm.
this absolute monster, male, female, doesn't fucking matter, and they'll just be like, "Hey, that was really cool." You're like,
Yeah.
"Wait, hold on a minute. What do you mean? Like, I'm snatching like the PVC pipe." It's like, "Yeah, but
Hmm.
it's cool to see you do that." You're like,
Yeah.
oh, thanks, man." Like,
Yeah.
it's cool. It's super cool.
I definitely agree. Definitely.
Mate, I really appreciate your time. I won't keep you any longer because I know it's the evening on Tuesday.
Yeah. What time is it there?
It's 1:20 p.m.
Oh man, sorry to keep you up.
No, p.m. not
Well,
a.m.
oh PM. Oh PM. Okay, got it. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
We'll
middle
get
of the
that.
day. That's okay.
Yeah, good
I
deal.
really appreciate it, mate. Yeah, thank you for your time,
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one.
and good luck in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Yeah, let us know how you get on.
Good deal. I will for sure.
All right, take it easy.
You too.
Thank you.